good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with another banger. You know what it is. It's Wednesday. We back with that 614 Ben. And you see to the opposite on the right side of my side of the screen, but I think he's on the left on his end. That's why it's the 614 Ben. And we going all the way to South Bend. And we welcome in post game sports. Appreciate you being here. How's it going this evening with you, my brother?
Man, Mossberg, it has been so hot, bro. I don't even want to leave the house. I don't want to leave the air conditioner. The Midwest has been burning up this week. But outside of that, bro, I'm blessed. How you doing?
Man, I can't complain, as they would say, of the great parlay Poe. Nobody gonna listen to me. And as you said, man, it's been blistering, blazing, feeling like the equator throughout this Midwest, man. So if you out there, man, make sure you get some AC. It's nothing wrong with being a village during these times, and definitely be around family. And it's okay to depend on someone, but we are back and we here with the 614 Ben. And I know it's hot outside, but it's also hot in that NBA free agency. And since this NBA draft post, before we get into this, we've been anticipating college football, we've been anticipating NFL football, but my anticipation has been this NBA draft and this NBA free agency. That's why I really haven't kicked off nothing with Cincinnati, Florida State, because we talking right now. We talking about the hottest thing outside of the temperature throughout the U.S. and all the other countries and the FIFA as well. This NBA free agency is special. What's your thoughts on, before we dabble into some of the names that's been moved, the anticipation for some, for yourself, coming into what I would say some farewell tours, the possibilities of chain gangs coming together, the possibilities of us seeing a player in AJ DeBansa, a player in Caleb Wilson, a player in the hometown hero, Dalen Swain over there with Caleb in Chicago. We haven't really talked about Chicago since Derrick Rose, since MJ, and those were greats. So we talking about Chicago, and they got a couple young gunning greats. But when you think about it, what's been your anticipation as we talking about this NBA free agency and NBA in a whole? And we appreciate everyone tuning in this evening. Oh, Texas Tech, man, we going to get right to you. Miguel, K8 T9E. We see you, and we going to get to you as well. And hello, all the way from Brazil. Shout out to y'all in that FIFA as well, and that World Cup. Thoughts on anything post? Let's get to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about, my Lakers and the moves they've been able to make, them getting a little bit younger, them getting bigger, them getting some three-point shooters, a little athleticism to pair with Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. So I'm excited about the moves the Lakers been making. Don't think it's enough to put them over the edge when it comes to teams like the San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder, but I like the way they're building around Luka Doncic. It's also going to be exciting to see where LeBron James goes for the final year or two of his career. Is he going to
Yeah.
stay out west on the west coast? Is he going to go back to the east? So those are the things I'm excited about.
Man, I'm in all agreement with you, man. I'm totally excited for that and some. One thing that really excite me is when you see some of the young teams forming and you see the core that they're building. When you think of the different players that's at this prime of their career, that's being this big money bag that's being traded off for multiple draft pick players pieces. I'm looking at a Brooklyn Nets team. I'm looking at a Phoenix team. I'm looking at an Orlando team. I'm even looking at this Washington Wizards team that's gotten a number one pick. Even though there's talks about Anthony Davis joining Curry, possibly King James and Golden State, we just don't know what's going to happen when it comes to the NBA free agency. So I'm definitely stoked about everything that's been happening and going on with the latest news. And Texas Tech man, old Texas Tech man 9144, he said, "You Longhorns are trash," putting out there that Jalen Brewster as decommit from Texas Tech. And looking at Texas and LSU are two. He'll choose the Brewsters. Just bought a house in Lubbock. Mm, very interesting, old Texas Tech man. And Miguel, we appreciate you. Hello as well. Make sure you tap that like and subscribe button as well, because as post game say, some hungry brothers. Not just doing this, but we doing this because we love it and we trying to make more of it and continue to bring you doses of our authentic flavors each and every week. And for me, one of the things that I stepped into and thought about was some of the latest moves, some of the most intriguing moves to me. One being Jalen Brown, one being Kawhi Leonard. And they talk about New York. We've seen Mitchell pack his bags, get those trucks revved up, and he's pulling into a new place. And he's over there where they've gotten a couple of rings. And there's been legendary things that happen there. So we talking about a Boston team. And then you're talking about a Brooklyn team as well over there with Randall. Then you get Mo Wagner in the latest news. So anything that's popping out, not to forget about Brandon, that is from Arizona, and Joshua Jefferson from Iowa State. So a lot of these teams are really building not just for the future, but some of these players could be very effective right now. What's your thoughts on everything that's going down? We gonna dibble and dabble tonight, post.
Yeah, no doubt about that. There's been a lot of moves in the NBA, bruh, and I'm loving it. But I mean, you mentioned Toronto, Mossberg, and just looking at that young team, man. I mean, Emmanuel Quickly, R.J. Barrett, Scotty Barnes, and now you add the veteran Kawhi Leonard in the mix. If Kawhi Leonard is able to stay healthy for the duration, bro, that is a scary team out east. They
Yeah,
did it. They did it before. They did it once with Kawhi Leonard, uh, and I think they can do it again. But it's all going to depend on his health. And like I said earlier, you add him in the mix with a young, hungry team that's athletic, that can play good defense, switch different position from position to position. I
mhm.
like this Toronto team and the moves they've been able to make, bro.
I agree. I agree. And we got Brother Blondie, and that's our almanac. Brother James in there. And he said LeBron James might as well go back to Cleveland. And we got many thoughts on the King James saga, the LeBron James saga, so much more of the sagas that's going on. And I agree with you. I think that Kawhi is something special. When you talk about, it's like he's a one man band. He came from San Antonio, went to Toronto, blessed the Canadian people with a title, and then packed his bags, went elsewhere. Now it's like he's coming home. And I'm not saying that in a matter of that's where he's from, but it felt like he's coming home. He's the biggest thing in Canada, I will say, since Drake. And I mean when I say that, I don't think people is as excited to see someone back in Canada as they are seeing Kawhi Leonard. And I'm gonna call him the Canadian Claw because I think he retires here. It's no reason that he comes back just for a year. I think Kawhi Leonard, he had a special effect there. And like you said, this team in Toronto is built under contracts and they're built very well across the board. So that's something to definitely look into when you think about that Kawhi Leonard signing. What's your thoughts on Jalen Brown going from Boston over to Philly, the city of brotherly love? Thoughts on this one?
Man, Moss, I'm not sure if I'm running the Boston Celtics. I'm not sure if Jalen Brown was the one I personally would have traded. But it is what it is. He gets traded to Philly. They trade him in the East to a young, hungry team that's on the rise. When you
Yeah.
talk about Edgecombe and Maxi, if if Embiid is able to stay healthy, man, I wish he can stay healthy, man. That dude, man, his upside was nuts. I think he would have been better than Jokic had he stayed healthy. But
Totally.
I mean, then you add Jalen Brown to the mix, you get improved defense automatically. A guy who can get you 25 to 30 on any given night. Man, that is, I would say right now, just on paper, I think Philly, and if you tell me Embiid is able to stay healthy, on paper, I like Philly, man, this year. I
Ooh,
know Miami is going to have a lot to say about that. The defending champions, the New York Knicks, are going to have a lot to say about that. But man, I just love that mix of talent that Philadelphia has acquired.
yeah. I can't I can't disagree. You talking about Jalen Brown, MVP, NBA champion, NBA All Star, you name it. Jalen Brown is it. And he was another one of those one and dones out in Cali, averaging 20 plus out there. Nobody paid attention. He came into the NBA and has been doing work ever since. You give him to Philly, and I say you give him to Philly, like you said, they shouldn't have traded him. I totally agree. I think he's a player you have to keep regardless of what the media is saying and all that extracurricular activity. Jalen Brown is a piece you have to keep to make that puzzle continue to shine and glitter like gold. But when you put him with Maxi, you put him with Edgecombe, and like you said, if Embiid can stay healthy, because they got rid of Oubre, we know Paul George is gone, but you add Jalen Brown. Philly, I think the brotherly love just got even more lovely. And I think it's a big question. You got Philly, you got New York, you got Miami, of course, people which is in considering probably one of the top teams. But I even like the fact that Boston has made some moves to still be very good in this East. So the East is stacking up just like this West is. The East and the West is looking pretty dang on good right about now. And we appreciate you tuning in this evening. We got Jamie, the D9W. She said, "Hi, can you give my brother a shout out? His name is Dexon Mayaz. He just turned 11. His favorite sport is basketball." And she said he loves y'all. Well, we gonna go ahead, man. Dex and my ass, man. We gonna hit you with a happy birthday. This is what we gonna do for you, Post. Since you came in respectively, we gonna hit you with a little something when it comes to the happy birthday, little music. I'm trying to find it for you. We gonna give you one of those good.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Dexon, man. You love sports, man. We love sports too. Thank y'all for tuning in. Continue to rock with us. Shout out to you, Dexon. All hard
Yes,
work.
sir.
Hard work, baby.
And I apologize for that, man. Just made a little mistake on the media when I was scrolling down the screen, Dexon. But we appreciate you. And we always appreciate you when you tuning in to us, whether it's from your phone, whether you falling asleep, because we know you're 11, man. So we greatly appreciate you and keep doing what you're doing and enjoy your summer, man. And make sure you dipping in the swimming pool because it's hot outside. But yeah, man, I just think Jalen Brown is a great piece when you're talking about adding him to a Philly team, and we seen what they did last year. I I'm really looking at it, man. This Philly team could be something special. At WTP for life, I know he was excited when he seen this move, and for me, I was always a big fan of Jalen Brown, watching him from his high school days, and now watching him from Cal, and even getting into the NBA and developing, being a champion, and so much more. Anything else you got to say just about when it comes to maybe Boston, maybe Philadelphia, just even an outlook? Shout out to Parlay Poe and his Boston Celtics because they making some moves in this free agency and this offseason as well. Anything you got to say on those two teams before we go?
Yeah, I mean, uh, I wonder because I like the Mitchell Robinson get for the Boston Celtics. I think he
Yeah,
has interior, an interior force, a guy who can rebound. a guy who can defend, a guy who can block shots, grab alley oops and putbacks for you. So I think that was a good move. I think the Knicks should have kept him. I know it was a financial thing, but I don't care. I just won a championship. That guy was a big piece of it. I would have kept him. But losing Jalen Brown, I gotta wonder, man, has Boston gotten worse?
That's a great question. Hey, what's going on, Victor Camacho, GAS? We appreciate you tuning in this evening. And for me, I was thinking the same thing. You get a Mitchell Robertson. I know that kind of puts some strength, in the front, giving some protection at the rim, but you're giving up an all-star, you're giving up an MVP, you're giving up a champion. Even though I know you're talking about Mitchell, who just got his throne and became that champion as well, but Jalen Brown, Mitchell Robinson, some of these moves are things that 3 to 4 years from now we're going to look at, as we just did with Jalen Brunson, Luca, and the slew of trades that happened in that trade that year. So I think this is something that we definitely look at 3 to 4 years from now. What franchise is moving forward in a direction through a trade like this? Because I think they're both in a prime to where they're trying to push each organization and franchise to a title contender and title winner. So this definitely is something to look at for me, and I'm sure as well for you. And we appreciate you tuning in. Ducky is cool, 16 and under. Make sure everyone tuning in, when you come through the channel, don't just scroll, don't just sit. Sit, like, hit that, smash that like button, and make sure you subscribe to all the channels that you're seeing below the screen, tuning in with us as well. Because you got SEC Sean, he working on the FIFA. He got so much with the World Cup going on. He does NASCAR as well. You got City League TV. We got so much smoke coming for you with the football Friday night, the high school basketball coming in the city of Ohio for the City League this season, as well as the City League Youth Scholars Program. He got that going on for the summer. And you also have One Take Zay. He's a Buckeye for life. He's a big LA Lakers fan. I wish we could have him, man, for his thoughts on some of the moves, as well as WTP for life, the band that put us all together. And we can't forget about Parlay Poe of Blissburg. And you looking at Mossberg of Level Up Sports, and that's post game sports. And, for me, post, man, one of the moves that I really, really liked, and I'm gonna stay in the East, and I know I'm gonna slide back to draft day with this team. The reason I say that is because Trey Young just got a big $200+ million contract. You got a Trey Johnson over there from Texas. They went and got a Felix Apar. And we know what he brings to the table with his size, athleticism, all those type of intangibles to bring to the table for this Washington team. Now, let's say AD doesn't leave. He stays healthy. Along with that, you got the number one pick in AJ DeBanson. I'm looking at this Washington Wizards team. And also, I don't want to forget the guy, the man, the other 6'8", 6'9". He may be 6'10". Keon George, special young talent over in Washington. I think they could be a team to make the East in the playoffs, and not just make it. They could possibly scare somebody, similar to that Washington Bullets team way back with Calbert Cheney, I believe, Chris Webber, George Muresan, Ross Strickland, all those guys. I think this new Washington Wizards team could be not just big in the district. They could be the reason that the district is moving in a different direction. City moving, traffic jams, fans everywhere. What's your thoughts on the district? AJ DeBansa, the arrival of all these new players, the big contract of Trey Young. Will he humble himself and be the Trey we seen at Oklahoma, dropping 10 assists a game? Or will he be that sharpshooter where we still trying to make that time bomb tick? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I like what the Washington Wizards have been doing, Mossberg. I like Trey. I like Anthony Davis, AJ DeBansa. I like this core. You mentioned Keyshawn George, uh, you know, Trey Johnson from Texas. Just they got a wealth of talent. Now the key for the Washington Wizards this season is going to be, can they stay healthy? Can their big guns stay healthy? Because remember, Moss, Washington came out and said they're not interested. They're not interested, excuse me, in trading Anthony Davis, and
Yeah,
I don't blame them. And I can think, man. My barber mentioned this to me weeks ago, bro, when we were talking about where LeBron James could end up. And he said the Washington Wizards, mind you, this 3 weeks ago, bro. Which reminds me, it's time to get back in that barber chair, but whatever. Different story for a different time. But he said he about 3 weeks ago, bro. He said, "What about the Washington Wizards?" And
yeah,
I was taken aback, and I had to think about it. Like, you know what? That wouldn't be a bad move. They would have to stay healthy, and I
yeah,
don't know how he would fit into the plans with AJ DeBansa in there now, because they draft. This was before the draft when he mentioned the Wizards, but
yeah.
that's intriguing, bro. If I'm LeBron, and because I personally don't think he wants to leave the state of California, but
Mhm.
man, that would be scary with him and Ice Tray, Anthony
Yes,
Davis,
sir.
and DeBansa, bro. That would be something serious.
Something special. That's like it, you know, for me, when we talk about LeBron's greatness, we appreciate you tuning in. Casemiro, is it Casemiro? Casemiro, 4206. I'm from Columbus, Ohio, and post game, if you're talking about Indiana, talking about the 614 band, and we talking about NBA free agency and all these great things. But yeah, I think that would be something different. I haven't had no thought of it. I didn't look at it, and I'm glad you brought that point up. That Washington was not even trying to get rid of Anthony Davis. He's one of those untouchables because they felt when they seen what was available, what they knew they could have, and I think when you talk about this Washington team, if Trey Young can like I said humble himself, I'm not saying that he's not a great player or anything, but hey, go ahead and get you 12 assists a game, get you 17 points. That could equal an Eastern Conference Finals appearance, possibly an NBA championship. I'm just saying, we just don't know. It's the NBA. Nobody had the Knicks winning the championship, but the Knicks faithful, So outside of many people when the season began, I think that's just something to think about. Washington Wizards fan probably haven't been anticipating a season like this in years, in a long time. So I definitely feel where they're coming from, wanting to be very hopeful of the season. So I'm with you. I can't wait to see what unfolds and so much more as this NBA free agency continues to crank up, continues to move, and as we even speak, you got things happening. Any news out there? If you're in the comments, feel free to tap into us. Let us know anything that's going on because we giving you a dose of our thoughts and what we think about what's going on. Anything else, post because I know we got so much more to talk about. But I'm gonna pass the mic because we've been there from the 614, and we're gonna go ahead to South Bend to you. Talk to us, post. What you thinking?
Yeah, bro. What did you think about the moves the Los Angeles Lakers were able to make? Do you like them? Do you love them? Do you not like them? What was your thoughts on that, broski?
The the thing for me was I understood the moves. The moves is understandable trying to get the pieces to surround Luca. When LeBron is leaving, you have to surround Luca with not just a big, someone that's willing to pick and roll, someone that's going to get there and be physical. I believe y'all still have Hayes. Get Kessler. I was questionable about the money based on seeing his averages being 14.4, 10.8. I like the double double, but then he was getting 70% from the field. So I understood where the money side came from. And if his upside is continuing to grow, I'm okay with the moves the Lakers made. We talking about LeBron going on a farewell tour and then his career. So you expected this. And then I'm also happy that Bronny James got his money and he still will be a Laker. I was a Bronny fan before he came into the NBA. I'm still a Bronny fan, regardless of the criticism that they give him. The kid's a basketball player. He's in the NBA, so you consider him a NBA player. It don't matter if he's going out there getting 5 points a game, 10 points a game. That man got an NBA contract at the end of the day. So I'm happy for the moves that they've made, even though they lose in the king. But Luca, it's your time to shine. It's your time to shine in LA. Eyes is all on Luca now. For me, another thing I thought about was the Houston Rockets. I thought about what they already have. You get a Marcus Smart. I'm wondering if they trying to fill in the depth to surround KD with what he really need. So I'm really questioning this Houston team coming into the season. I know they played without Fred Van Fleet. I watched the conversation, the interview with him and Kevin Durant just a couple of days ago. I'm interested in this Houston team, and I had them last year being a scary team in the 7-game series. They showed me less, and for me, I want to see improvement. I know you played without your star, uh, all NBA point guard, but I want to see better. I think the NBA and us as fans deserve better from the Houston Rockets because they have a hell of a team.
Yeah, I like the Marcus Smart addition. I really was hoping he would come back to the Lakers. The Lakers need that dog.
Yeah.
Word on the street is he didn't want to play for JJ Redick, so
Mhm.
he went to Houston. But
Mm.
I'm in difference opinion, man. I don't believe in no team where Kevin Durant is the quote unquote star best player. What evidence do we have, bro? What evidence do we have that tells us Kevin Durant is capable of leading a team himself? We have zero. I
Mm.
just don't see it. I mean, I like their coach. They do have some pieces. I would have liked to see them with their point guard healthy last season and
Yeah.
Kevin Durant healthy last season. I'm not saying he's a bad player. Kevin Durant is an offensive machine still, but
Yeah.
I just don't have faith in him leading the team. That's all.
I agree. I think when we say what we say, we I don't know if some of y'all don't understand the flavor where we coming from, but we've seen it. We know what he did when he got those titles. We joined Golden State, and then people want to say things I've seen in the media. If LeBron joined Golden State, if he wins a championship post, we've been talking. We don't even think the championship is possible, even if he goes to Golden State. Just a little tickle their stomach a little bit for the viewers watching. We said that. So if we see it, we'll be talking about it more, and it'll be so much in between that we talked about that happen for him to actually win that championship. So make sure you stay locked in and tuned in each and every Wednesday, each and every Thursday, each and every Saturday, Sunday, as well as Tuesday, Monday, and Friday. We got something special coming for y'all next week. Stay locked in and tuned in. But outside of those things, I just think that when we just think about it in a whole, Kevin Durant, when you have been by yourself, you've been hurt during the key moments, whether it's a series or whether it's the regular season. So these are some great things to think about and look at. I always felt he should have went home to DC years ago. Me, I'm big on that. I felt Kevin Durant should have went home to DC. The people was waiting for you. That was a decision as big as Bron's decision. If you really think about that, that decision was just as big. And if he would have did his own little segment on it, I think it would have got some views and it would have been chasing that Bron on the views, especially doing it from your hometown, which he still owes DC some love and some flavor. But one of the other moves that I was looking at, this was an interesting move. And we yet to see where another player, which I kind of see why this move came in. John Collins going to the Detroit Pistons. Is that to protect Cade Cunningham? Is that to bring that offense that was needed? That Jalen Duran, they said didn't provide, but he was averaging 19.5 and 10 rebounds a game. I don't know what it was everybody was saying, but I know they got John Collins for 3 years, 51 million, and he got him a nice bag. What's your thoughts on that move? John Collins, Jalen Duran still there. Is he gonna stay? Is he gonna go? Isaiah Stewart already shipped. He's gone. His bag's packed and he chilling.
Yeah, I think Durant out of there, bro. I truly do. I thought he was going to end up with the Lakers, but they opt to go with the center from Utah. I think John Collins might be a little bit more consistent than Durant at this point in their careers. I think Durant really disappeared in the playoffs. If he would have played how he played earlier in the season, there's no telling where Detroit would have ended up, Mossberg. So I like the move, and I definitely think Durant is out of there. It should be any minute now. But I got a question. I want to go back to the Golden State thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you think LeBron James going to play with Steph Curry is a bad look on his legacy as far as legacy is concerned?
We talked about this, man. I'm gonna tell the people, man. Me and Post, we talked and we chop it up, not just right here for you people, but we chop it up, and we was talking about this. And for the legacy of LeBron James, I think right now for me, and I've watched almost every movie that he's had. And I think about a lot of these things. You could think about a lot of things when it comes to what you love to do to life. LeBron loved playing with Steph Curry. LeBron hasn't been happy. When you talk about smiling, you think about Carmelo Anthony on the court. LeBron haven't smiled in any sense of that since when? Cleveland. If you really think about it, he haven't smiled like that since Cleveland. So for him to go and play with Curry, I love it for the legacy of him wanting to play with the greatest shooter of all time. But I think it's going to get flipped, tossed, and turned and scrutinized in many ways because of the fact that Kevin Durant did it, and people said what they said. So I think it's going to be the same way towards LeBron. Me personally, I'm a basketball player. Me and Parlay Poe talked about this one night. If I had a chance to go play with one of my buddies, which is Jermaine Baker, never had the chance to play with him in actual organized high school, middle school basketball. We played in the gut smacker back in the day, but I would have loved to have that opportunity. If I would have had to leave a school to go play with him, I would have done that. And that's what I'm looking at. I really thought about this after we talked. So that's what I thought about when it came to that. So I don't see nothing wrong with it. Um, People gonna say what they say. That's just how it's gonna be. But he's at that point where Zuri, nobody's thinking about that. Watched dad play basketball his whole life. His wife watched him become king her whole life from high school, the Suns. So why not dad, go to Golden State, stay there where the family is at, and watch Zuri become who she's going to be. I think this is another reason as well, to why he's going to come there if he do. All of his doings comes to family. So I don't think it's nothing wrong with it. Overall, after I've looked and thought about it, I would think it would be great because it's going to pertain to family with his ultimate decision.
So who would you say? What team currently gives LeBron James the best chance to win the championship?
Come on home, bro. Come on home. You got Mobley, the young, aggressive big man. He remind me of your man in high school who used to drop it off to. You got young Donovan Mitchell, the short guy. You know who he remind you of, Joyce Drew. And you got yourself, along with your other counterparts. I think coming to Cleveland right now, I think it's his best thing because there's so many more moves that would have to be made for him to go to Golden State. I mean, not for him to go to Golden State, but I think for all of that to really mesh and work, you're talking injuries. Whereas you come to Cleveland, it's, this is your throne, this is your city, this is your town, this is where you're from. They gonna play harder for you. It's a different feeling when you at home.
Facts. But you would give Cleveland a nod over Washington?
Nah, I like that one. Thank you, Post. I forgot we did talk about Washington, and they already have AD. I think I just want him to come home, but I do like that Washington fit. I gotta say Washington: Trey Young, AJ DeBansa, Anthony Davis, Alex Sarr, Keon George, Trey Johnson. I might as well be a Washington fan, Post, because I don't got no team, and my boy AJ DeBansa is the number one pick. I just might be a Washington Wizards on
Yeah.
four.
You might as well follow him to the Wizards, man. And shout out to No Ego in the chat. What's up, homie?
Appreciate you tuning in, man. Appreciate you being here with us again, boss. Um, what's your thoughts, No Ego, so far with the free agency? Let us know your comments. Another one over there in Boston Post, I was going to ask you about unsung, underrated vets. Been in a game for 20 years, doing work. One of the most dangerous left-handers I think that we've seen in the game of basketball, that he's been worth every dollar. He hasn't really been healthy. He's been doing his job diligently, consistently, unless he's been hurt. Mike Conley to Boston. What's your thoughts on that one?
Savvy veteran, man. That's gonna get you good minutes still at this age. Think about it, man. Him and what's the center, man? Yeah, his running mate at Ohio State, the
Big
center.
Greg Oden.
Think about it, bro. Him and Greg Oden came into the league together, right?
Yes, sir.
He's still playing, bro. And just a solid, like, savvy veteran, man. That's gonna give you good minutes off the bench. I'll take it. I'll
Yeah,
take it. He fits in well with that Boston team.
yeah, definitely. When I seen the move, I thought like Boston is, you know, you got Greek over in Miami. We know that's the big move. We was waiting to see what Boston was going to do. They unloaded with Jalen Brown. They got Tatum still, but they got Mitchell Robinson. They added Mike Conley. So they adding pieces around that piece that Miami got to basically counter, attack. And it's like I'm watching teams put the pieces together to where, I'm looking forward to the NBA season. You think about LaMelo Ball and a Minnesota Timberwolves jersey. Why is nobody talking about that, Post? LaMelo Ball and a
Because
Minnesota Timberwolves jersey.
Minnesota lost all their dogs, bro. Think about it. They lost Julius Randle. Who else did they lose? They lost what's my homie name that hit the three, shoot the threes. I forget his name. He was traded in the Lamelo trade.
Was it I can't think of it. You
The
said it.
the four, but they lost their dogs, man. Like Lamelo is gonna be great when healthy and scoring, and Ant Man, of course, is gonna get his, one of the most exciting players in the NBA, young exciting players in the NBA. But they lost their dogs, man,
Yeah.
and I think that's gonna hurt them a little bit. I don't, they was a piece away from really contending in the West. So I mean, and you give away all your dogs, man. I'm not
Yeah.
so sure. I think when Lamelo and Ant Man play together, as long as Lamelo is healthy, it'll be exciting to see. But I don't see them doing too much in the West, man, because again, they lost all their dogs.
So just thinking about it, we seen what AO did, and we seen AO, and then next thing you know, when you see AO, he getting a big contract. So my thoughts is this Minnesota team possibly taking a page out of Golden State's chapter in different ways. Like I've been seeing teams kind of match certain things up to try to be a team that may get out, get after it, run a little bit. or, because we know what Julius Randle brought to the table, but then again, he was not found in certain times. Are they trying to be that team that speeds it up, run and gun with Gobert and the added pieces? This is something to look at. Me as a fan of the game, I don't know. I like these two guys together, man. I think they're gonna bring something that the NBA needs. You need that flair. You got one and Ant-Man with a whole different animal. He got that instinct. But I think when you get a LaMelo Ball with him, to be able to have the ball in your hand, to not be able to do so much. So
That's the
go ahead.
that's another one of my worries, man. Is LaMelo Ball is very ball dominant. Like he needs the ball in his hand a lot. How's that gonna work with Ant-Man? the
Great.
the injuries. I thought they were building something more towards the Golden State Warrior formula with
Mhm.
Ball and Knipple in Charlotte, bro. I thought if it was me, I would have built around them two and say, forget it. We finna have all five positions shooting 3-pointers and we gonna run and gun. And that's how we gonna rock. But I guess they felt like it was time to go or whatever the case may be. But I thought pairing Ball with Knipple was more ideal. But I
Yeah.
mean, I guess it is Ant-Man. I mean, he one of the better young players in the league. We'll see how it works, man.
Yeah, I agree. And I definitely want to see it. That was something I was thinking about myself. And also, we appreciate the comments coming in. And as we've seen that Kawhi to Toronto, you got Ja to Portland, Brown to Philly. It's been crazy and it's not over. And we totally agree. No ego. And LeBron will have a new home. Giannis in Miami. In all honesty, I don't like all the team hopping, but it's making a fun upcoming season. And I think we definitely in agreement with you with all that. The loyalty has definitely been lost in many ways. You just looking and moving because of the money, and we seeing what that do. Sometimes it can get funny because it don't add up to the titles. But that's a whole nother topic of another discussion another day. But Boston trades Brown and Philly making a division move is bold as hell. But Maxi, Ascombe, Brown, and Embiid, not a bad crew. As Poe said, he right now got Philly, top of the East, even with the Greek freak in South Beach. But we gonna keep the bars coming. What's your thoughts? What's your biggest one? No ego. Talk to us. What's your biggest one you've seen so far? Um, just thinking about Anthony Simmons. You got Nick Richards out there. You still got Kuminga. You got Rui. You got Tobias Harris out there. And I'm gonna give you a little trivia for everybody tuning in. We gonna tap in post. You think it's time for them one time post? I'm gonna put them on a little trivia scale real quick. So for this one, we need you to get your ears locked in. Make sure you listening. And we're gonna hit you with last year's stats. We're gonna hit you with some numbers, and we're gonna hit you with a couple dollars. Give us your thoughts on who you think the player may be. Average 23.6 points, 4.8 rebounds, 8.0 assists, 43% from the field, 37.5% from 3-point range, and his career earnings is over 400 million, 411 million to be exact, $406,674. Who do you think we talking about? Drop your notes, drop your comments in the chats as we thinking about that post when we speaking about the money, because we know it could get funny sometimes when you talk about contracts, moves, people living up, players living up to those contracts. What's your thoughts on that? Some of the moves being made, some of the money being spent. What's your thoughts?
Man, I'm not. I'm gonna keep it funky. I'm not big. I really don't dig deep into the financial side of sports. I try to keep it, you know, keep it on the action part of the sports game. But I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot different from even when Kobe Bryant played. Like the money is like just drastically going crazy in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like the big contracts back then, you think about like 10, 15, 20 years ago, they're being dwarfed now. by the contracts
Yeah,
of today. So I mean,
crazy.
hey, I, I wish I could have got some of that paper for sure.
Yeah. Feel the same way about it, man. Feel the same way about it, man. So make sure, man, if you know who that is with that 400 million, drop it in the chat. And yes, I think the biggest one we all know, everybody been waiting. I think we all been waiting once we seen young Bronny get that guaranteed money. Talk to us, man. We talking LeBron James. Post game said DC got a great squad, probably the best team out there for him to join. Honestly, when you talk about young team already built in stone for the years to come, I can't disagree with it when I think about it because you have to put Washington in the mix. They've talked about it. You have to put them in the mix. They've even talked about Brooklyn. It's a lot of teams that's been talked about.
You know what's interesting about that move to Washington, Moss,
Yes, sir.
is does Anthony Davis want to play with LeBron James?
Yeah,
Because remember, there was a lot of controversy when he was traded to Dallas in return for Luca. Did LeBron James know and play like he didn't know, or did he really just did not know?
yeah.
That's something I'm waiting to see. Does does Anthony Davis want to play with LeBron James? Because if he doesn't, that's gonna tell us a lot.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely some great thoughts. And at No Ego, he said, I think the answer is either LeBron James, Kevin Durant, or Steph Curry. Nah, bro, that's not even the answer. Bron, he done made big bucks, 23 points a game. You close on the superstars. 23.6 points a game, 8 assists, 4.8 rebounds. It's tough. It's a good one, but it's not the answer. I'm gonna keep y'all alone, man. I'm gonna drop another one in there, so keep your ears open. Um, I'm just, I don't know, man. I'm really interested in it. I want to really see where he go. Personally, I know I would love to see the farewell tour coming through Akron. Like I would love to see it. It's James Harden. I know ego. Yes, sir. You got it right. And I would love to see it for the reason being, I think me being a kid from Ohio, watching him play, I've seen him play a couple times in high school. Um, I haven't seen him play, which is crazy in the NBA in Cleveland, except watching on TV. I've not seen him play one time, except when I went to a pregame. I went to a pregame, an exhibition game at Ohio State, and it took me back to when I watched him in high school. But I definitely want to go in that arena like I used to back in the day and see the King play one more time. That's just my thoughts. But if he joined AJ, I'm getting chills already for that one post.
You, you
Because right
talking
now,
you
go
talking
ahead.
about you talking about back in the day when your knees wasn't made of popsicle sticks and glue.
Yes,
Back in
sir.
back
Yes,
back
sir.
back before that, dog. I feel
Man,
you. Let me
man.
ask you, have you ever got the chance, the honor to see the late great Kobe Bryant play in person?
Nah, man, I never got the chance, man. Like when you say I was adamant about watching the Mamba, rest in peace, I was adamant, but when it came to playoff time, when it came to after February, I was really in tune. I think watching LeBron on the road in the playoffs is the reason that I want to watch him so much because it reminds me of Kobe. Go look at what Kobe did on the road in the playoffs and go look at what LeBron did. It'll surprise some people. There are different players when they're on the road. You see a mentality, you see a different player, you see a different GOAT in those times and those presents, but I haven't got the chance to see him. It would have been something special for me. Um, I got him second on my GOAT list, man.
I
Just
man, just going off my eyes, like what I've seen. Like Kobe is only second to Jordan in my opinion. But I do remember catching Kobe Bryant in high school. This was around '04, '05 ish, around that time where he had Smush Parker. It might have even been '03, but when he had Smush Parker, Chris Mim, all those cold bums.
Yeah, yeah.
But we went to, at the time, I believe it was Conseco Fieldhouse, Indiana Pacers. And
Hmm.
man, I got to see the legend, man. And you know, what stood out that night was like in the fourth quarter, the last few minutes of the game, the Lakers called a timeout. I don't even think Phil Jackson was the coach at the time. But the team is huddling, right? The Lakers are in the huddle and Kobe Bryant is sitting on the what do you call those things on the side?
Scores table.
The scores table. He's sitting on the scores
Wow.
table while his team is huddled up and the coach is giving them instructions, bro. He was so pissed. They lost that game too.
Is that
But
when Indiana had the pinstripe jerseys on?
I can't remember what jerseys they were wearing that night, bro. That was about
I think it's a.
23.
I'm telling you, we gonna have to look that picture up. I think it's a picture of that, bro.
Really? Yeah, I was
Yeah,
there that night. I
I
was
think
there
it's a
that night.
picture of that image of Kobe because he like standing there chilling, like he just like kicked up, like he relaxing in a lounging chair.
Yeah,
Wow,
he was sitting on the scores table while his team was huddled up. And
wow,
man, I will never forget that night, man. That was
that's crazy.
amazing.
I was able to see, and we coming right to your question at no ego. I was able to see AI, man. AI was one of the players I seen a lot coming to Cleveland. Like we would go to see a lot of Cleveland games. When I was at the game when he dropped 30 on Terrell Brandon. Terrell Brandon was a great player, but that was back when Iverson was coming in young, making a name for himself, and seeing him a couple more times. Um, and I've even played against players that's been in the NBA. Kevin Martin. A lot of people don't even know who that is. Zanesville, Ohio product. Went straight sharpshooter in the NBA. Played many seasons. We definitely have some talent. Devin Green played for the LA Lakers. He played with the late great Mamba. Lamar. I mean, he played with so many, and I believe he got him a championship ring with those LA Lakers. So it's a lot that
Oh, you talking
we can
about
be a part of.
oh,
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
you talking about Devin George?
Nah, Devin Green from he was from here from Beechcroft High School. He played here at Beechcroft. Went on and ended up getting drafted and playing with the Lakers. So it was some of the stuff be surreal, but it's reality. A lot of things happening throughout your lifetime, and you don't take it for granted. And when it comes to what we do, I don't take it for granted because we're able to talk about things like this. And you've seen Kobe, I seen AI. The team have seen legends in their time, in their prime, doing what they do best. And that's just something to talk about and think about. Everybody don't get a chance to see one of the worst players that some people would consider a player being the worst, let alone seeing someone at that stage in their career and that great of a player and legends that they are. So, it's just something to think about as well. Even more talking into the free agency as we coming up on 50. We have 53 coming up on 54 minutes. Just thinking about, we know LeBron is the man to get. Do y'all think LeBron should go somewhere where he can win or just go to a team with the best fit? And this is coming from no ego. We spoke a little bit, but he want to hear that opinion again from us because we've been really thinking about Washington. They looking good. But what's your thoughts? Appreciate you again being here with us as you always are every Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, shout out to No Ego, man. Uh, I don't, LeBron James is difficult right now because you don't know what he's actually looking for, what he's looking to do in the
Yeah.
latter part of his career. Is he going to play 1 year? Is he going to play 2 years? What, or is this his last year, this being the upcoming season? We just don't know. And if I'm trying to win a championship and Washington is not trying to trade Anthony Davis, man, I gotta see what's up. Can you imagine LeBron James, Ice Trey, Anthony Davis, AJ DeBansa, all those young guys they got? You know that in the East, in the
Man,
Eastern Conference,
going
that
crazy.
that would be solid.
That'll be going crazy. Like I think about that every time you mention it now. I didn't think about it. You know, I've seen different reports about all the different teams. Of course, we know Golden State, we know Cleveland, we know, the fact that they've mentioned, I forget what other team, I think Toronto, some other team, but they mentioned Brooklyn. But this Washington, I think I seen one with them on that late last. And that's interesting because mm, that could get very scary fast. You talking about AJ DeBansa, who's already a 6'9". People talk about Tracy McGrady. We didn't get the chance to see McGrady play with some of the greats who he wanted to play with. We seen him get split away from his cousin. They both had respective great legendary careers after that, which I don't think we would have been able to see if they was together. But I think in this day and age, when you put some of these guys together, you're able to see something special. AJ DeBansa starting his career while LeBron James is leaving it, man, that'll be something crazy. And like I said a couple weeks ago, man, you think that DC ready for the King? Whoo, man, I don't think they ready for him. And then you already got AJ DeBansa there. That'll be some. That'll be something. That'll be something special. And then Trey Young, he's just as good. He's not a shooter like Steph. We all know that. But he could shoot the ball. He could definitely shoot that basketball. So you talk about a player that has a vision in LeBron who could find players, but if he's willing to take the back seat to this young talent that they have and be himself, he could just swing the ball, get walking triple doubles night in, night out. So it's definitely a lot to look at, when you think of the free agency as a whole, what players are still available, what players could fit with certain teams. We know they're talking about Miami, but I just don't think he's going to South Beach. I think he's going either to Golden State. And now I'm looking at Washington more than Cleveland. And then I'm putting Cleveland third. As much as I think I want the farewell tour. It might be a little biased because he's coming home, but I think that's just respectably and knowing the sport. You come home and what you built. But some fans, just hearing fans across, some fans still upset about how he left Cleveland. I'm not, fan. Everybody have their opinion, and they're own to that. So I don't know. It's just a tough position to be in. I know it takes a lot of thought. I know looking at the best thoughts for his family as well. I know that's something me and you would be doing. I'll be calling you like post. What you think I should do, man? Like this is tough. I just want to get your opinion as a brother. Respective of what we do in our sports and our daily lives. I'm still gonna come see you, but what should I do, man? This is difficult for real. So it's just gonna be something to see. I'm gonna be up all night into the wee hours of the morning because you never know, man. The phone might go off, the notification might go off, and the King James might be arriving. And we know how it happened last time, So we definitely looking forward to it. Anybody out there, anybody they looking forward to seeing go anywhere? He said from an entertainment perspective, I say Helmet Golden State would be must see TV. From a championship perspective, I say Cleveland. Like both points. And I must see TV. You talking about a lake show. You talk about Brian kicking it to Curry. You instantly get that Olympic vibe. And we know that was vibing. That was a vibe. So it's just something to see, man. Anything you want to tell the people, you want to talk to the people. I didn't even realize we just been getting after it and going after it and just continuing to cook like we do, man. But it's always love, man. Anything you got to tell them?
No, just appreciate the support. Make sure y'all like and subscribe.
Yes, sir, man. Make sure y'all always, when y'all come in, y'all hit that like button. Y'all hit the subscribe. Because that's post say, man, there's some hungry brothers trying to bring you authentic lineage each and every day we hit this here stream. And the USA, just giving you a little bit on the FIFA World Cup, they are up 1-0 right now against Bosnia Herzegovina. Gavina. I'm sorry for pronouncing that if I pronounced it wrong, but they are up 1-0, and this USA team is putting on a show in this here world, this FIFA World Cup. So definitely make sure y'all tune in and post. I'm gonna say this, and I think I'm gonna say this first. And I think I don't know, you might be able to mark me because I've been watching your girl. You know we gotta say something about her. Olivia Miles. I'm gonna call her Leisha Tennis Cheryl out there, Cynthia Cooper and that thing, cause she is something special. I watched her
That's
the other day. She's special. I've been locked in. Talk
that's
to
la-
us,
that's Lady Magic, Moss. That's Lady Magic.
Lady Mac. Oh, I
Bro,
like it. I like
you can sew up that WNBA Rookie of the Year award. It's already been decided. I like a lot of the rookies. A lot of the rookies are playing great ball in the W. But what Olivia Miles is doing, I
it.
mean,
Yeah.
she's her man. The vision, the shooting, ball handling is just a beautiful thing to watch. And even though she transferred from Notre Dame with her last year eligibility, I respect her game and I appreciate what she brings to it for sure.
Yeah, man. Special, man. I'm glad like you put me on her the way you have. Like I was watching her, but I really haven't watched her as much until you started putting me on even more. And when I watched her the other day off the pick and roll at the top, she dropped that dime. I said, "Wow!" It was over at that point. You know, Paige and Fudd was trying to figure some things out, man. And good God, good show, guys. Summer League starts Friday in Cali. Appreciate that update because we definitely going to be talking to you all about that NBA Summer League as well. Make sure you tap in with us. You could check us out at our emails as well. Mine is Joe Moss 1001 at gmail.com. Also, you could check us out at WTPSportsDudes.com. That's our website. Feel free to get on, check us out. Also, leave messages. And if it's anything you would like for us to talk about on the show, feel free to leave it there. He said Miles is getting more confident by the game. She's funky on the court. Funky. Man, she out
And,
there like, shh.
and you know what's crazy, Moss, is they haven't played a second with their best player, Nafisha Collier.
Yeah.
And I believe they sit atop of the Western Conference standings in the WNBA. So
Yeah.
imagine how dangerous they're going to be when the Fisha gets back, gets her legs under, and they'll be ready to roll. That's a team
Man.
I'm watching for sure. Minnesota Lynx.
Yes, sir. I really like, you know how I'm big on the Fisha. That's one of my girls in the WNBA monster. When she get back, I think we only seeing the beginning of what this team gonna do. I think we really gonna see another edge. And shout out to Asia Wilson, still doing work. 4-time WNBA MVP. Like I watched over this weekend and up into these first few days of this week, I watched a lot of WNBA. You know, Ion, shout out to Ion, man, for the W being on that channel. We really appreciate it. Right now, we ain't even gonna come at you with the answer. Cause right now, I'm going Olivia Miles. The reason I'm gonna go Olivia Miles, because Olivia Miles is putting on a clinic in the WNBA right now. It don't matter who she playing against. She's putting on a clinic. So Juju is the best player right now. She's the best women's college player next to my girl Maddie Book. You know I like Maddie Book. Then I gotta go Juju. But we gonna
Wrong
go Hannah
again.
Hidalgo. We gonna go Hannah
Wrong
Hidalgo for
again.
post game.
You was wrong, Moss. Moss, you wrong on this one, bro. The
What you
best
think?
the best real he said real quick who's better, Miles or Juju? I mean, I want to see, and I respect Juju's game for sure, but I want to see her off this injury. I want to see, how she's moving and she's still the same player. I know sports medicine has came a long way, but you just never know. But as of right now, I think Hannah Hidalgo is the best player in college basketball until further
Oh,
notice. Because nobody
I like
affects the game like her on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. She's a dog, and I mean that in a positive way. She's a dog.
I agree. She tough. I think when you speak on those women, you could arguably people gonna say one, two, three, three, two, one, however they say it, but Hannah Hidalgo has definitely earned her right to be called the best women's player in college basketball. We've seen what she single handedly did with that Notre Dame team and that supporting cast last season, and everyone's already locked in for this season. College basketball, NBA basketball, it's going to be off the meat rack, as we say about things in our family, as we already see the WNBA kicking off to substantial showings. The network, everything is going up, and we just appreciative of what you women bring to the table on that WNBA side and just the sports over the world, sports all over the world in general as well. Anything you got to say? No, I know you going live tomorrow for the people. I know you bringing something to them.
Yeah, make sure y'all tune in. We live, same time, same place tomorrow night. Make sure y'all check us out. It's gonna be dope.
Yep, as he said, man, make sure y'all check us out. We only doing this, man, because we love it, and we gonna continue to do it. It ain't because we only do it, but we just love what we do, man. This is just a bit of a dose of a break through our week and our daily lives of what we do outside of coming to you daily. But as for the rest of the week, we're gonna be tuning in with you tomorrow. We're gonna have post game here, and he's gonna be live. So make sure y'all go check out that channel, man. He's dropping videos at least 2 to 3 times a week. The latest drop he dropped about, I think it's at like 20 some hours ago right now, post, and that's definitely a major drop. So make sure you go check that drop out. But make sure you stay tuned in. Level Up Sports 10 on Instagram, and you got JoJo Moss on Facebook. I'm posting a lot of stuff, and I'm looking to actually put a kickball event together. Second, third week of August, trying to bring something together for the kids before they go back to school. So if you see me moving around the city, don't be afraid to say something to me. I'm just trying to bring a little shining light on things that I've always wanted to do since everybody thought I was going to be in the NBA. Just bringing it to you in a different form of the NBA, and that's speaking on it, talking about it on a daily, and more sports. But we appreciate y'all all for tuning in this evening with your boy Mossberg and your boy Postgame of Postgame Sports on the 6-1 Ben. Other than that, you already know what we do. We was in the building, and now we out. Peace.